So to give you a little bit of a backstory, basically I was a Minecraft admin on a server that I'd say was pretty decent. Like it got around 800 people max playing at one time. So it was no Hypixel, but it was definitely up there. And I kind of deleted like half of the servers on it and the website. You know, I'm the typical like nerd kid in school. I wouldn't say I was a loner, or like the cliche nerd, but you know, I was massively into gaming, and Minecraft was my go-to. Once someone told me about it, like at the time I was like, this sounds stupid as hell. Like, why would I play Minecraft? Someone introduced me to it, and I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty cool. So I joined a server just randomly at the time, and I became an admin of that server. You know, just I joined at the right time, right place. I made friends with the owner, and then the next thing you know, I'm an admin on it. And I did so much for it, man. Like I'm talking, like I came up with certain game mode ideas for the server. I made that dude tens of thousands of dollars for sure. Like I can say that without a doubt. But it didn't matter like at the time, right? Because I'm a kid. I don't care about the money. I was just having fun. I was having a good time, enjoying it, enjoying like I don't know, you can say working on it, but really it was my life. Like that was my social life, was this game, which is embarrassing to think about. I mean, again, it's not like I didn't have friends or something in real life, but I really enjoyed this. This was definitely what I looked forward to after school. I'd come home, jump on the computer and play. And I kind of just shit it all away one day, like out of nowhere. And I felt like it just escalated so, like it was just dumb. It escalated out of nowhere. I would say I was about 3 years into adminning on the server, and I was getting bored, and I decided that I wanted to be paid for what I was doing. And to be fair, I think I should have been. Like, I was doing a lot of stuff, making him a lot of money, and I figured, hey, why not get paid for this? So that's what I asked for. I was like, hey, can I start getting paid monthly just to do certain things? And it started off fine. Like, I was getting paid, I worked for a few months, and if you're wondering what I did specifically, it was boring stuff. Like, people would have, you know, hacker reports where they would be like, oh, so-and-so is cheating, and I would just watch the video, confirm if it's a hacker or not, respond, so on, stuff like that. Or if people had, like, bug reports, stuff like that, you know, was messing something up in one of the game modes, I would go in there and look at it, fix it if I could, etc. It was pretty boring stuff. So, in my mind, when we agreed on paying for this, or like when I would get paid for it, it started 2 weeks before it actually did, for his perspective. So let's just, I think it was like January 15th is when I started. So I did 2 weeks worth of quote unquote work, which this isn't just, this was hours and hours every day of doing this crap. Because when you have 800 people playing at the same time, the shit like adds up like a lot. And then February comes around and I'm paid like 2 weeks less than what I was expecting. You know, so like I got my pay. I was just confused. I'm like, hey, like why the hell are you not paying me for my full time? So I messaged him on Skype. I'm like, hey, what the heck? Why didn't I not get paid? And he's like, well, the agreement was February 1st. And, you know, long story short, I was getting pissed. I'm like, I felt like I got cheated out of, you know, 2 weeks worth of pay. And I just lost my shit. I was probably like 16 at the time, so you can already imagine where this is going. So of course he like demotes me from, you know, like being an admin on the server, right? Like I think he just literally bans me off the server because he's afraid of what I'm going to do, because I can't remember the exact messages, or can I find them. I was pissed. He bans me. And so that was like kind of like the final straw, like when he banned me off the server and I could no longer get on it. And I think he even said at the time, like, hey, I just banned you. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's talk about this. I wasn't having any of that. I didn't want to talk about it. You know, I don't know if you know anything about how servers work, but this was running on Linux. And in Linux, there's ways to add other user accounts, just like any other kind of, you know, computer like Windows, you can add user accounts, but it's harder to see if you're not paying attention. So probably years ago, I added my own user account and never said anything. So he had no idea that I had this extra account on there. So when I got banned, he also changed all the passwords to like the actual, you know, Linux box that this was all being hosted on. Because obviously assuming like I would get in there and do something. Well, he didn't know about the other user account. So anyways, yeah, I'm on this I'm like logging in to this Linux box now, and he has no idea. He has no idea that I'm, you know, I have my own account. I'm logging in, and I go in there and I just start deleting shit. Like whole server, just RMRF. If you didn't know, I think it's like remove file recursively or something. So it's just the equivalent of like just deleting the whole folder. Deleting the whole folder. Deleting the whole folder. And so I had done that, like, you know, again, I deleted the website. I deleted like whole servers that were like not recoverable. So like this isn't just your typical I'm gonna nuke, you know, TNT the spawn, like those old videos back in the day that you would see where people would grief. Like, no, this was like way worse. I mean, it was bad. Like, you know, multiple things were not able to be restored. I mean, it was just completely fucked. And I feel like a complete asshole now. Like today, I would love to be able to talk to them again and say I'm sorry, but I don't even know if I'm able to face them anymore. And I guess if I could face him today, I would just say, hey, I'm sorry, I was being stupid. Like, I don't have any excuses for you. You know, maybe at the time I was evil, but I've learned since that, like, what I've done is wrong. And I think that's really hard for a lot of people to do. Like, a lot of people do things wrong in life and they just think that they were always justified and it was always right, even though it wasn't. And yeah, like, I don't know. There's not really like an end theme for this. It's just more of a confession for me to be able to put it out there and just finally like have an end with this. Like, I feel better as I'm saying it now. Like, weight is lifted off my shoulders of I finally come to terms and accepted that I was a complete asshole in this, and that, you know, like, I just, in the future, I can't be doing that. Like if someone's pissing me off, you know, there's escalations, and I don't think it should ever get to the point that you're just tearing down an entire, you know, server, so to speak. And funnily enough, I will say this, it is still around today, but not nearly as popular as it was, probably because of me. Like, I was a direct reason, you know, like, that it's not as popular, just because at the time they lost a lot of people because some things were not recoverable and people lost, you know, what they had done, what they had worked on. And so, yeah, I mean, I was the villain in this story, but the villain that's realized that they were a villain. And I don't know if there's anything out there that you feel bad about, maybe something that you've done in the past that you regret. Realizing you're the asshole, if you're able to self-reflect and say, okay, look, I was the asshole here, and genuinely knowing that and apologizing, not even to the people you wronged, but just to yourself, of just saying, okay, like, I kind of fucked up here. I'm admitting that, but really taking that in, that is the growing opportunity, because we're all going to fuck up in life, right? We all have things like this. I mean, again, not Minecraft specifically, but just in general, things where you feel bad about what you've done and maybe you're beating yourself up over it. But look, like, by having that self-realization, you've kind of won in a way, because you have realized that you made a mistake, and maybe it's years later, you can't really correct it, or it's permanent and you can't correct it like I did. But having this self-reflection and knowing that what I did was wrong, and admitting that, like, deeply in my heart, just admitting that, yeah, I kind of messed up here, and I'm sorry, even though these people may never hear this. I think that's what really matters, because there's a lot of people out there that are fucking assholes, man, and they just don't even know, or they refuse to come to terms with that. And those are the people that aren't growing. You know, me and you, like, when you're able to think about something and be like, okay, you know what, I was kind of an ass about that, that's real growth. So keep that in mind in the future. You know, like, if you're ever thinking about something that making you feel bad, you've won by just realizing that you were in the wrong. Take care, folks.